Hi there and welcome to this tutorial where we're going to draw a profile portrait. And what I do first is I draw in the direction in which the face is headed. And this is a little helper line. I also put in the cheek line. But the helper line is very ideal to figure out how to draw in the nose and the lips. Now the lips go in front of the little helper line. She has nice full lips, and then that goes into the chin line. And what's also very awesome about this particular model is that you can just see the outer eyelashes. So it's a profile still. You can only see exactly one eye, one pupil if you want. And then I try to figure out how the nose entrance is positioned, and you can just see the nostril. Now if you want to draw along with me in real time, you can find my tutorials, a lot of them on my Patreon page, of course. So for a little amount of money, you can just find there hundreds of tutorials in real time for you to draw along with me. Now what's very nice is the shoulder, of course, and you can just see the strap of her dress. And once I have the profile going, I can figure out how to position the eye which is visible. And I first draw in the eyebrow, and I try to figure out how the direction of the eyebrow is. And the eye itself is laying deeper inside the head. So I put in two little helper lines, and then I watch carefully for the shape of the upper eyelid. So how is that line bented? And then I watch for the lower eyelid, and I also watch closely how that line is bented. And then I can position the actual iris. And there are always two lines for the upper eyelid and the lower eyelid. And she is just watching a little bit towards us. And this is the lower eyelid. And the lower eyelid catches a lot of shadow. And then here is the upper eyelid. So that's the way that I try to figure out how to position the eye inside the eye socket. And of course there's a lot of shadow underneath the eyebrow, and she catches a lot of light on top of the nose, but inside the eye there is a lot of shadow going on. Now the underneath of the nose catches some shadow. Next to the nostril there's some shadow, and then under the eye, of course. So I already put that in, and once I'm happy with my first positioning, I can try to figure out how the hairline is situated on the face itself. And of course there's also a lot of shadow underneath the cheek line, underneath the chin and the cheek line, and there's a huge shadow which is casted by the face upon the neck itself. So this also brings us a lot of 3D, and that's nice. So shadows are always very powerful within a portrait drawing. And what I also noticed is that she has very playful hair. She has curly hair, and the curls, well, they dance around the head if you want. And that brings a little bit of movement into your drawing. So if I see it, I just make use of it. And I can see a shadow casted on the forehead. there's a lot of light on the side of the nose, and the upper lip always is a little bit darker than the lower lip, and then there's a casted shadow underneath the lower lip too. So I place those in too, and this is the extinct shadow underneath the cheek line. Now let's take a closer look at the mouth itself. You can just see there's a little bit of shadow casted upon the lower lip, and then here you can see the corner of the mouth and a little bit of shadow going around the chin bone. So well, this is just a mere sketch, of course, but well, I'm trying to watch closely at the gray values, and I'm trying to imagine how the bone structure is underneath the skin, of course. Now the ear itself is very light and the hairs are very dark, so I'm trying to figure out how the neck is bented, and you can just see how the neck hairs come from the neck and then they play around too. So let's see if we can well, attach the hairs to the skin of the neck and make them grow out of that. Now in front of the ear there are also nice curls dangling there, and they're dangling in front of the ear, and the hair itself is very dark, but it's also very curly. So let's try to make that work for us a little bit. I'm not going to pay too much attention to the hair, but I do want the gray values to be well, some kind of corresponding with my reference picture. Now here we can see the side of the head, and this model catches a lot of light on her cheekbones, and it's very nice that you can just see the outside eye just coming from behind the nose bridge. And the curls are, well, there are a lot of curls. Let's first make sure that we get that high cheekbone in there. That catches a lot of light, so it's very nice. And inside the hairs there are also light areas. So even though she has very dark and curly hair, you can just see some kind of bright spots inside the dark hair because it's shiny, and here and there it catches the light, of course. And the lower eyelid catches a lot of shadow too. So, and there's a little bit of shadow just underneath the upper eyelid, and there's a little shine just next to the pupil. And then I put in a value in the background, and that makes the cheekbone jump out a little bit more. So I apply that a lot, just a little bit of background color to point out the bone structure, if you want. And I do like the curly hair, which is jumping up, and it brings a lot of movement into my drawing. It doesn't make it that stiff, so I like that a lot. I also like the shadow underneath the jawline. That's very nice. And the curly hair that are playfully jumping around the ears. That's also very nice to point out. Brings a lot of nice structure into your drawing. And even though this is a quick sketch, I do not go too much for resemblance that much, but I go for vividness and making an interesting drawing. So this is my study. I hope you will give it a try too. You can find the reference, of course, on my Patreon page. If you want to draw along, you can visit me there. Or, of course, I will see you in one of my other YouTube tutorials. So, thank you for watching. And if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. And I will see you again soon.